A rough day at the office for Jessica Pegula as Coco Gauff finally defeats Pegula on hard. The previous victory against Pegula came in Eastbourne on grass, with Pegula winning last year's semifinal match in Cancun, Montreal, and Dubai. She had won all previous meetings on hard. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, indoor hard is a different animal. When it comes to indoor conditions, generally speaking, from my expert point of view, the better player is going to win most of the time. And today, Coco was the better player. Congratulations for Pegula for making it this far. But to win a WTA Finals championship, your first match is very important. And this is how it may play out for Coco Gauff. She's going to face Barbora Krejcikova next. And listen, the last time they played that 21 French Open, yes, the 21 French Open where Barbora would go on to win it. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, that first set went to a tiebreak. Iga won the 20 French Open. Barbora won the 21st, and Iga's been dominating ever since. I get it. I understand it. But that match was close. And after watching Barbora today, especially in that third set, very fatigued, I think Coco's going to run circles around Barbora Krejcikova. That's just my personal opinion. She's an amazing player. She's an amazing shot maker. But if Coco's not double faulting, and today she put on an amazing service performance to look there after making a mistake. But her defense, we could talk about her speed, her defense, her backhand. But if she is not double faulting, it's going to be very tough to beat Coco Gauff. In the first set, 0 double faults against Pegula, 2 aces. She got 55% of her first serves in play. She won 65% of those. The second serve, just under 60%, but 3 for 6 on breakpoint opportunities in the second set. Perfect on breakpoint opportunities in the first set. Now, the second set, she did have 2 double faults, but we saw her first serve win percentage just under 70%. She lifted that. The key here in this match, in my personal opinion, is I just think she went quicker into setting up her offense against Pegula, where in the previous matches, she gave Pegula enough time to attack the back foot, to go cross court, making it difficult for Coco to return. But listen, let's also consider Coco's had several weeks to prepare with Mr. Daly. Work on that form with the serve, right? Change those mechanics. Work on the forehand grip. He's a grip specialist. And you're seeing it here, ladies and gentlemen. I think this move with Mr. Daly in her camp, this might be the move. And I'm telling you right now, I already said I do think Coco's going to win the Australian Open. I do not see Sabalenka winning a third. Listen, this might be the move that gets Coco to where she needs to be. And we have to understand, as the most marketable player on the WTA Tour, the most popular player, the most loved player, Coco has unfair expectations. She's only 20. Let's take a look at all the ladies in this competition. None of them have had a better career as a teenager on the main tour. Look at all the championships Coco's won. Ladies and gentlemen, Look at the stats. The most 70 Master 1000 wins. Ladies and gentlemen, 7 championships. Just completely dominating the main tour as a teenager. No one in this tournament has had a better teenage career. But I do think Coco gets a lot of unfair criticism because she's so popular. Everyone expects her to have had 5 Grand Slams right now. Look, she's got 2. One at the U.S. Open, and don't forget about Katerina Siniakova, that French Open title this year in doubles. She also made a French Open final against Iga. She's been to 3 Slam championships at the age of 20. She's having a really good career, but again, she gets a lot of unfair expectations because everyone knows she's so good and they expect so much. Listen, the stint with Brad Gilbert, in my opinion, it slowed down her growth. She was trying to execute a game plan that did not work for her. And then when you're a good coach, you can kind of get the best out of your player in different situations or circumstances, right? That's your job as a coach, to motivate, to encourage your player, to do their best, to believe, to dig deep. But when you're a great coach, you can take what your player does without having to change them and make it better. And I felt that didn't happen under Brad Gilbert. Brad was just, when was he going to say, look, this is not working. We need to change this. Let's maybe bring in a mechanic coach. I don't think that would have ever happened. Coco spent literally, let's just say it. She spent a year trying to execute a serve approach that just wasn't meant for her. And right now, I think she's got the right mindset. She's got the right people around her. Her career is going to take off. And we saw this here, the way she beat Pegula, one of the most technical players on tour, one of the best shot makers on tour. She beat her pretty easily, guys. And I said she would win this match. And I said, I do think Pegula is amazing. But when it comes to Coco, I don't necessarily think she's a better all-around tennis player than Coco. Coco has too many weapons. She can beat you with her feet. She can beat you with her defense. She can beat you with her backhand. And she can just beat you being in a spot where you just can't get to because you're just not fast enough. This is the problem here where Coco plays most of these players as they start to age, and we're seeing that. Sabalenka's in her mid-20s. Rybakina is in her mid-20s. Iga's 23. She's still pretty athletic. She still looks good. But I do think Win Facette's going to bring a different approach to her game. And I think much like today, even though she hasn't played in nearly 2 months, she looked very vulnerable against Barbora Krejcikova. What's next for Coco? She's going to take on Barbora like I recently talked about. I think Coco's going to start 2-0. And just like last year, she's going to find herself in the WTA semifinals. And then things get interesting. Look, if Queen comes due, it's going to be tough. She's going to have to win some sets. She's going to have to win her next 2 matches for sure. But we could very well see Coco versus Sabalenka indoor hard. Coco's going to win that match. She can end up in the finals. We could easily see possibly Coco Polini, who she's dominated. Coco's going to win that match. But I'm looking forward, after Barbora, that showdown with Iga Swiatek. That's going to give us a good idea of where Coco's at with her new coach, where Iga's possibly at, having missed 2 months. Now, Iga did start slow against Barbora. I understand that. She was able to crank it up, find her range, but she was missing wide. Very badly for a lot of that match. I do think Barbora just ran out of gas overall, but we're going to see where Coco's at, where Iga's at. That's the matchup I'm looking forward to. I do think Coco can beat Iga Swiatek in this tournament, and I do think Coco can win this thing outright. Let's take Iga out of the equation because I do see Coco making the semifinal here. I think Coco beats anyone in this tournament. Tennis in a minute. Get your popcorn, folks. You don't want none of this hot cocoa. She looks amazing.